This seller told me during Chinese New Year, if you don't find a buyer in 1 month, I'm going to find another agent. And honestly, I thought I was going to lose this listing. This was a second floor, 4-room flat, facing the road with only 52 years lease left. Not an easy unit to sell. Then when we finally got a buyer, she paid the option fee of $1,000, but still back out. And 1 month later, we sold it at a full asking price of $520,000. Here's exactly how it happened. To give you some context, this wasn't a fresh listing. Before the seller came to me, he had already been trying to sell the flat for about 4 to 5 months already with another agent, but it still didn't move. Then he engaged me as the sole agent in January. The reason he was in a hurry was because he had already gotten his HDB BTO, and under HDB rules, he needed to sell this current flat within 6 months. So there wasn't really financial pressure, but there was definitely timeline pressure. Now on paper, the property actually looked quite attractive. It was a 4-room flat, around 90 square meters, corner unit, and we were asking $520,000. In fact, it was even cheaper than another 3-room flat in the same block. So the issue was never really the price. The real challenge was the profile of the unit itself. It was on the second floor, facing the road, so there was traffic noise. And because it only had 52 years of lease left, a lot of buyers who were interested simply couldn't afford the cash needed to proceed. That's something many sellers don't realize. Sometimes you can have genuine interest in the unit, but that doesn't mean those buyers are actually qualified to buy. So from the start, I knew this wasn't a case of just getting more views or inquiries. It was about finding the right buyer. For marketing, I pushed the unit through property portals, social medias, YouTube, and TikTok outreach. What I wanted to do differently from the previous agent was to create more digital exposure, especially through video. And in terms of positioning, I focused on 3 main things. First, it was a value buy. Second, it was a corner unit. And third, it was a 4-room flat in that block. So yes, we did get inquiries, but here's where the real challenge came in. Some buyers like the layout, some like the price, but once we work out the numbers, especially because of the remaining lease, many of them realized they couldn't move forward. I remember there was one buyer in his 30s who was genuinely interested, but after I did the calculation, I showed him that he would need $180,000 in cash to proceed. The moment he saw that, he knew he couldn't do it because most of the money is tied in CPF and loan only. And that was when I had to explain to the seller that the issue wasn't that there were no buyers. The issue was that many of the buyers were simply not qualified. Then came the Chinese New Year period. About 1 month into the marketing, the seller told me very directly, if you don't find a buyer in 1 more month, I'm going to find another agent. To be honest, when I heard that, I felt quite lost. As an agent, when your client says something like that, of course, you feel the pressure immediately. And for me, I was honestly scared of losing the listing. But instead of panicking, I asked him to give me 1 more time. I explained that we had only just started marketing, and more importantly, I showed him the actual buyer responses we were getting. I walked him through the inquiries, the objections, and why some buyers liked the unit but still could not proceed. That conversation was important because sometimes when sellers don't hear updates, they assume nothing is happening. But when you showed them the ground situation clearly, they understand that there is work being done behind the scenes. And thankfully after that, he gave me more time. Then finally, we had a breakthrough. A buyer came to view the house, she liked the unit and placed a $1,000 option fee. The seller accepted the offer and naturally we thought things were finally moving in the right direction. At that point, I think everyone felt relief. After all the marketing, all the explaining, all the pressure, we thought we had the deal. A few days later, the buyer came back and said that after thinking more carefully, she felt that she could not accept living on the second floor for the long term. So even though she had already paid the option fee, she decided not to proceed and forfeited the $1,000. That was definitely a setback. Because once again, we were back to square one, finding another buyer. And for difficult listings, moments like these are very discouraging, not just for the sellers, but also for myself handling the case. But this was where I reminded myself that I just had to remain steady. I kept updating the seller, I kept marketing the property, and I kept focusing on finding the right buyer profile instead of trying to force the wrong one. About 1 month later, we found the right buyer, a couple who saw the value in the property. What they liked was very straightforward. It was a 4-room flat with 3 bedrooms. It was a corner unit, and there was minimal renovations needed for them. The overall price made sense. Yes, it was on the second floor. Yes, it faced the road, but to them, the value outweighs those drawbacks. And I think that the biggest lesson in this sale is not every buyer is your buyer. You don't need everybody to like the property. You just need to find the right person to see the value in it. Eventually, the couple agreed to proceed, and we sold the flat at the full asking price of $520,000 at valuation. For a unit with these challenges, I think that was a very meaningful result. The seller was able to move on with his plans. The buyers were happy with what they got as well. Looking back, what this case really taught me is that when you are handling a difficult listing, the worst thing you can do is disappear when things are not going well. If there are no offers yet, update the seller. If buyers are giving you the objections, update the seller. If a deal falls through, update the sellers. Don't go missing. Because when a seller hires you, they are not just paying you to post the listing on Property Guru. They are trusting you to guide them through the uncertainty of the sale. And if you don't know what to do, they will feel even more lost because they are depending on you. This case reminded me that difficult listings are not impossible listings. You just need the right positioning, the right buyer qualification, and most importantly, constant communication with your seller. So if you're trying to sell a unit that feels difficult, whether it's low floor, older lease, road facing, or limited buyer pool, don't assume it cannot be sold. What matters is whether you know how to position it properly and whether you can stay consistent all the way through the process. So if you're a homeowner and you're not sure how to position your property in today's market, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you understand your options. I'm Caleb. See you. Goodbye.